I think we're going to jump into Champ Select here and see what happens. It is to note, I think this is, the Jackson 5 is still playing with one sub. Arthraz is, to note, is going to be playing for sub-shells. So Arthraz is the sub, but they still got the core roster in there of the 4.
And Ho-Ho's gets his Leona banned again.
Yeah, it's kind of weird they're banning out Ho-Ho's Leona and target banning him. He is in the bronze elo. But they're targeting banning Leona, and what we've seen from Ho-Ho's on Leona, it does work.
And
the Vayne gets banned away.
This is exactly what I was talking about. Lee Sin banned away from Gucci or nothing. He is Diamond 5, Lee Sin main. I'm interested to see what he falls back to now because Lee Sin, by far his most played champion, over 70,000 mastery points on that one, and he doesn't even have a second level 5. So... Malphite getting banned away. That's a strong pick right now. Don't want to deal with that point and click AoE CC.
And again, it was a point I brought up last week is even though we have a very diverse elos in all teams, and a lot of people are pointing out that diamonds are just going to smash everybody. I think when it comes to synergy and team coordination, and if the teams actually make a good team comp, they can actually overcome that elo diversity and win, even though the teams are all balanced out and have an even amount of players.
Yeah, absolutely. Contrary to popular belief, one person cannot carry a game. It does take a lot of teamwork, and especially since every single one of these teams has at least one high elo player, they should be able to make up for any deficits they have on another side of the map. Last 2 bands coming out, Dr. Mundo and Zed.
Yeah, like it looks like purple team or red team doesn't want to deal with that Zed with that new item, the Deathstalker.
The Duskblade of Drakthar.
Yeah, Duskblade of Drakthar.
The most World of Warcraft name that we have in the divisions, that's for sure.
I think it has to go off the Aatrox lore, if I do believe.
Does it?
Aatrox is a Drathkar.
I thought it was a Darkin.
Isn't it? Oh, whatever.
Who
it's
knows?
The same thing.
Eh. Well, if someone knows, tell us in Twitch chat.
I'm gonna call it like Darkblade or something. I don't know. Deathblade. I'd rather
Deathblade.
Deathblade sounds better than that, because that's what happens.
And Lulu first pick.
Lulu first pick. Lulu's actually a very high priority pick now. It looks like Gragas is gonna come out with the Gragas jungle. That's been played in LCS along with the Ezreal, and I think that's gonna be the 80 carry.
Yeah, so I was asking what Gucci would fall back on, and it looks like it's this Gragas. He's going to be playing for the team instead of making those flashy Lee Sin plays.
Yeah, and you can still make flashy Gragas plays. It's just not going to be as cool.
80 carry locking in the Ezreal. They could go for a poke comp. Blue Ezreal, very strong. Of course, it could still go mid, but I'm definitely expecting it to go bottom lane.
He's a lot more efficient bottom lane. Especially, I think Blue build is the most popular build now, most gold efficient build to go. Does the most damage with the poking. So they have the frontline Gragas, and Gragas is actually back in the meta now. You can build them with the Roomglaive Echo, since it's so strong, and just go full tank after that, or you can even just build Cinderhulk like they used to, but he's back. Looks like for the blue team, they're looking for...
Gangplank's not banned.
Yep, Gangplank's not banned. They're going to pick it up in the top lane, and they're also going to pick up a Trundle. I don't know if that's going to be for support or jungle.
The thing about Trundle, he can flex to so many... They have 3 flex picks on this blue team right now.
Oh, yeah. Lulu can go support, top, mid. Gangplank can go mid or top. And Trundle can go top or support
or even jungle in some cases. So very flexible draft, and especially looking at the summoner spells we're seeing right now, I do believe they are flexing these champions. I don't think they're picking for themselves, unlike the red team.
Yeah, they're trying to bait out some more of the team composition, but already you see Kog'Maw is not banned, but Kog'Maw is not picked up yet. So will blue team pick up a Kog'Maw for the Lulu to protect? I don't know.
With the Lulu, that could be a very good option. Trundle also pretty good at protecting the Kog'Maw with his Pillar of Ice.
Yeah, Tom Kinch is still open, but Tom Kinch has kind of fallen out the wayward, even because he got a couple.
Yeah, he got a couple nerfs.
He can't 1v1 the 80 carry anymore, but they're just hovering right now.
And we're gonna see another Cho'Gath, I think. I actually
Cho'Gath locked in.
I filled in for your 80 Curry in some of C Nation's practice games yesterday, and they played all of these same champions. Ho-Ho's on the Thresh, Gucci on the Gragas, and Chicken Sailor on Cho'Gath. Chicken Sailor actually did his best to carry us, but unfortunately we kind of screwed it up. But and there it is. That's the Kog'Maw.
They're going for the Kog'Maw comp. Now what are they going to do to round it out? It looks like the Lulu might be the support. I don't know if the Garen is just a flex, or not a flex, but just trolling.
Ramus top, Ramus jungle.
We
Ramus
saw
top
we
does
saw
have the
Ramus.
highest win rate.
We did see Ramus top in the EU LCS. It was picked up by Rocket.
Rocket?
No, Elements have Steve and he went Gragas, or he went Graves. So yeah, I think it was picked up by Rocket and they ended up picking the victory over Elements with the Ramos. But
Freddie 122 deep champion pool.
Yeah,
They're still
hovering over Garen, but I want to see what they picked to actually finalize what roles they're going into. It's going to be Garen. So we know Garen in the top lane, Gangplank in the mid lane, and Lulu as support, unless they go Gangplank somewhere.
Gangplank support would be interesting, albeit unlikely. I wouldn't put anything past anybody though.
We have a
Rise mid. Rise mid would surprise me. Syndra a little more likely.
Syndra being played in competitive as well.
I would expect Beckmeyer to go something more like a Lux.
And Beckmeyer's the mid lane on this team, isn't he?
Beckmeyer is the mid laner.
And interesting enough, last time Ho-Ho's got his Leona ban, he went to Nautilus. And this time he's actually going on a more skill-based champion with Thresh, so I want to see how Ho-Ho pulls out the Thresh. I haven't seen him play Thresh before, so this is going to be interesting.
Beckmeyer hovering Ahri. Ahri is his most played champion, but Lux also rising very strong right now. Both champions, I think, would work well in this composition. Both can catch that Kog'Maw, do tons of damage. Lux just a little less mobile, a little more of a glass cannon, not going to be jumping around, casting spells. And alright, we have our comps locked in. Gangplank mid, Garen top.
Trundle in the jungle, Kog'Maw and the AD carry. Again, they're going to do the protect the Kog'Maw, and one thing that if you learned from the TSM C9 game today, they took away the Gangplank so that Kog'Maw could not get instantly deleted by one barrel and late game Kog'Maw, because late game Gangplank, because late game Gangplank still crits and still does tons of damage.
And it's interesting that we see Kog'Maw and Gangplank on the same team, because in post-match for TSM and Cloud9, everyone was talking that it was a balanced battle between the overpowered Kog'Maw and the overpowered Gangplank, and here we have both on the same team, and relatively few power picks on the side of C Nation.
Yeah, we get to see another Cho'Gath.
If this game goes late, it's gonna be painful for C Nation.
Yeah, and to note, Goosey or Nothing's the diamond player on this team, and he's going a tank jungler. So I mean, you can't really carry off a tank jungler unless you get really, really fed and get your items, or make really good flat. Unless his Gragas ults are on point and knock the Kog'Maw out of the way. It's going to be a hard game for Red Team. Again, they saw, I don't know if they were watching the game and saw the Cho'Gath and said, hey, that's a good pickup, we'd like it. But looks like they have more of a little bit poke comp on the Red Team.
Absolutely.
Just to poke them down. But Blue Team has a fight comp. They have a Lulu to protect the Kog'Maw, and that's all they need. Trundle and Garen are going to be running at your face.
I'm going to be expecting a relatively subdued laning phase for the Jackson 5. They want to get to late game. They want to farm up. I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw Cole on that Kog'Maw. Cole is don't see it very often. Kog'Maw, you see it a little more than most just because he's already going to be playing his laning phase so safe. And especially with the Lulu, they're not going to go aggressive. They're just going to try to farm up and hope that Kog'Maw does not get hooked by that Thresh.
Yeah, and all Kog'Maw, what they want to do is just Kog'Maw to stand still and hit W. As soon as he hits W, he doubles his attack speed cap and will just go ham with. And what they need to do is rush Rageblade Hurricane and then get some defensive items on that Kog'Maw, like a Steek's Gauge, a Maul, more shields and stuff to protect him while he's standing still besides that Lulu.
And speaking to that same point, I will expect most of Gangplank's ultimates to be used to mitigate engages. If they do manage to get on top of Kog'Maw, for Gangplank to throw his ultimate down, give him that AoE slow, let him get out. And Kog'Maw has a nice slow of his own too, pretty powerful one.
Yeah, and for the first draft of Jackson 5, they bring out a strong draft for their very first game here at the SEMO League.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with their process because they managed to front load their draft with those flex picks. It's not something we've seen a lot of. We've mostly seen people picking their own champions, which not terribly surprising since most people don't own them all.
Yeah.
I do, but
I've
been playing this game for over 3 years. So
yes. So 40 seconds until we get in game. Spam in chat, hashtag CNation or hashtag the Jackson 5. Who you think will win? Show your love, show your support. Looks like we got the Juggernaut comp. versus the Ezreal Poke Lux comp. I'm just going to call it that. They have the front Tanky Beef front line with Gragas and Chicken Sailors Cho'Gath, and then Ezreal and Lux to Poke. So let's see if the Juggermaw is as overpowered as they say they are. So we got 10 seconds until we get in the game.
All right, let's see some action in that Twitch chat. I want to see some spam.
Spam. Hashtag CNation.
You guys have been letting me down today. Come on, bring it on. All right, so an interesting point you brought up earlier. Gucci or nothing on Gragas. Typical Lee Sin player. High elo. He
out of his element.
Yeah, used to carrying games probably on that Lee Sin. I'll be interested to see how he performs on the Gragas. I saw him play it once yesterday in practice. It was a pretty good performance. He actually, I think, ended up taking the wrong runes by accident. So that was not the best situation for me to observe and be able to give you some insight. But hopefully, with the tank stats he has and the engage potential he has, they'll be able to get onto that Kog'Maw. But I think that he kind of got circumvented in this draft because Gragas definitely better at disengaging than engaging. And because the Jackson 5 picked this Protect the Kog'Maw comp into that Gragas, it kind of nullifies a little bit of what he's good at. They're not going to be trying to engage on his team. He's not going to be able to use his ult for disengage. He's going to have to use it aggressively, and that's so much more difficult to do.
And I like looking at Keystone Masteries and builds and stuff and what they're running. Looking straight off, we have the Trundle going Thunderlord, so you know he's going damage. I question why he didn't go Strength of Ages just to get him that free Giant spell off that passive for Strength of Ages once he builds it up. More tanky Trundle running at you.
Gucci has your back, though. Gucci taking the Strength of Ages.
Yeah, on the Trundle on the other team on top. But when you're looking at Ho-Ho's here, he's going Grasping and Dying on Thresh, and Chicken Sailor is going Bond to Stone on Cho'Gath, which is also questionable because you want that more. Grasping and Dying is just overall a better pick on Cho'Gath, as we saw last game. Plus, Grasping and Dying on Thresh wouldn't do you much where you would actually want to go Bond to Stone.
I think what Cho'Gath is aiming for with this Bond of Stone is he's going to be going straight tank, I think. He's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. He's probably not going to build a lot of damage items outside of that Rod of Ages. When the Keystone Masteries were first introduced, I watched Freak's explanation of them, and he did say that if you're going to be playing a straight tank top lane or a straight tank jungler, it's not a bad option because you are going to be soaking damage from your squishies. But it's not something that we've seen a lot. I'm interested to see if it works out for him.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He's going to go straight tank, and he's just going to tank all the damage from the squishes, and he's going to say, that's so fine, kill me, put all the damage on me, I'll be able to tank him. Garen. I love Garen. He's in this game.
Garen has a pretty strong lane phase also.
Yeah, he's an easy champion to play, and he has that ultimate passive with the villain aspect where he does true damage with his ultimate and his spin to wins and his auto attacks. It's pretty deathifying. He can definitely one-shot at carries, so I think he'll be charging at Lux and Ez, but he'll have to get through the poke.
All right, here we are. We are on the Rift for game number 2.
Yes.
We have the Jackson 5 versus C-Nation.
Jackson 5 on the blue side with the Juggermaw comp, and then C-Nation on the red side with the I'm going to poke you down comp with the Lux, Ez, Thresh, Gragas, and Cho'Gath.
Switch it up.
Switch it up.
All right, so
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
All right.
So
looks like
says you can't see me in all chat. John Cena jokes.
My time is now.
30 seconds until minions.
They probably had the name picked out just for that
You know,
scenario.
actually, I have to tell you this story. When I was practicing with them yesterday, they told me what their name almost was, and I was so heartbroken they didn't go through with it. They were almost the Rare Peppy Collectors. Would have been probably my favorite name of the entire league, but they ended up going with C-Nation, the John Cena call. Hopefully they can make him proud.
Yeah. Again, one of my points granted against, with all these, you have diamonds on each team. I think it all boils down to what the teams draft and their team comps, so what kind of prep time they put in. And I'm actually interested to know if they're actually researching their enemies and talking about preps and teamwork and actually working together and scrumming.
Blue side definitely did some research on their opponents. They banned out the Lee Sin, they banned out the Leona. Ho-Ho's not helping the leash. Scumbag support.
Yeah, so it looks like standard starts from everybody. Trundle's going to start at the blue side, though, and work his way down. Pretty common. You could start red side or blue side. Doesn't hurt you that much.
Yeah. One thing that I'm not a jungle main, obviously, but a lot of times when I do have to jungle, I base where I start based off of whether or not I can smite the red buff.
Yeah.
So I start on the opposite side, so I'll have my smite back when I get back to red buff, because red buff hurts.
Yes, and you can always get that health back when you do smite it. Interesting enough, if you can click on the Kog'Maw for me, I want to see what skill he started. He did start his W. What Kog'Maws are doing now is they don't put any points in the queue until the very end, and they start their W, then they level up their E, and then they switch in between their W and E, which looks like he's doing. So
yeah, unfortunately, Kog'Maw's Q kind of got left in the dust with his mild rework. It doesn't really accomplish as much because of the way he's played now. The style changed.
Oh, looks like
Going
Trundle's
for a
going to be
counter
invading, so that's why he started blue buff. He wanted to get it, and he actually steals it away from Gragas, so that's a big takeaway from Gragas. Gragas doesn't get his red buff, and Trundle does, and he's just going to walk out of his jungle. And Gragas is going to go to Raptors. So it looks like Trundle's going to get a 3-buff start, and that's really big over Gragas.
There probably is going to be that 3-buff. Gragas cleaning up his Raptors, his consolation prize. A little disappointing for him.
Do we know who the high elo player on the Jackson 5 is?
I actually am not positive on that.
Because a Diamond just got his red buff stolen by... I don't even know what his level is, but I want to say bronze, just to make it demoralizing.
just to...
A Bronzy stole his red buff.
Hook doesn't connect. Kog'Maw actually kind of out-damaging this Ezreal in the early game.
Yeah,
Lulu gets taken down low.
Standing still, here we go. And, that's what Kog'Maw makes... Kog'Maw does so well now is...
Okay, so... Gangplank receiving word from Studio Crew that Gangplank is the high elo player on this team.
So Gragas got his red buff stolen by a Bronzy. Calling it now. Yeah, Kog'Maw even in laning phase now is just BS. He just out damages everybody. Stand still and able to get off those auto attacks.
Man, if C Nation does end up losing this game, they can always just ban that. They didn't ban Kog'Maw.
Garen,
GG. Kappa.
So there's gonna be trading CS. Spin to win. Spin it on his face. Just spin. It goes with his champion name. Just spin. Spin to win. So
clarification, Steven was wrong because Trundle is silver.
Stolen by Solar. Even worse.
Silver literally worse than bronze, can confirm.
That's gold worse than Solar.
If we look at the CS, actually all lanes going slightly in favor of C Nation. And despite that buff steal, Gragas is just barely one creep ahead.
Yes, and not even knocking low elo players. Ho-Ho's, he is a low elo player in this game, but every game he's played in, he's had massive kill participation in each fight and actually done pretty good ultimates and follow-ups with his Nautilus and Leona, but I want to see how he does on Thresh. I wonder if he's been practicing.
And I think the best thing about Ho-Ho is he's a very vision-centered player from what I saw last week. He placed a lot of wards, really doing his part to help the team with vision. And we have a pause.
Pause.
Gangplank has DC'd. We'll be getting back into game here shortly.
Yes, waiting for the pause. If anyone's ever attended IEM before, me and my roommate had the privilege of flying out to San Jose, and literally an hour of it was all pauses added up together. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, that IEM, I watched it online. They spent a lot more time pausing and doing space between games than they did actual games. Hopefully we don't have that experience in Katowice next week.
It was brutal.
All right, looks like
Looks
we'll
like
be
they're
getting
starting
back
the
in the game
game.
here shortly.
3 seconds.
All right, Gangplank is reconnected. All is well.
All is well.
He is down 8 CS. 8
That's what
CS isn't
happens
too
when you
bad.
don't play on land. Cogma just standing still. All he does is hit his W, he gets the points, Lulu puts the shield on him, and actually throws his Q on him that does more damage for the pixels as well. So Lulu, a great support pickup, able to do a lot of damage down to Ezreal in the bot lane. Alright.
Chicken Sailor.
Still no wards coming out, only wards coming out for the blue side right now. No early wards to stop ganks. Gragas going for that, looks like he's...
Oh, Hook lands on Lulu, but nothing comes of it.
Yeah, Lulu just shields herself and pokes
Unfortunately,
out. But
Ezreal's out of mana.
It is going to be low mana across the board, especially with Cho'Gath hitting low mana, taking a tower shot. Bot lane's hitting low mana, so we're going to be hitting backs. Gangplank just slamming me. It's cute. I love it.
So we got first back from the mid laners. We have a Fiendish Codex and a Forbidden Idol coming out for Lux, both the components of that Morellonomicon. Excellent first item, as opposed to the Phage from Gangplank. Interesting he doesn't go for the Sheen. He's going for the straight AD instead, as well as the Phage passive.
Yeah. Interesting buy with this Bomby Cinder from Gragas. I guess he wants to clear camps faster, but he's going to be missing out on that bonus experience per monster with that if he got the second part of the Hunter's Machete. So he's not going to be leveling up as fast as Trundle would with finishing that Stalker's Blade. He's going to be giving the blue buff over to Lux. Lux is going to say thank you very much.
You commented on the Stalker's Blade, and we talked about this last game also. The difference between an item like the Stalker's Blade and, say, the Trackers or the Smite Stone, as you've been calling it, I won't be surprised if Gragas ends up going for that Smite Stone, put down some vision for his team. Works very well, especially on tanky junglers like Gragas.
Yes, and I think Ho-Ho's and Goosey actually have really good synergy with that vision. As you said, Ho-Ho's is a very vision-centric support, and they think they work really well together, throwing down that vision. Spin to win, she's going to be spinning on top of minions. Gangplank early game, going to get hit by Lux Q, going to get hit by the auto, which does more damage every time she lands a spell. Going to be throwing out the barrels, going to be waiting for it to go down, but the barrels don't do as much damage. Going to be throwing out the silence on Garen, so it's just going to be a slap fight. Lux ulti coming out, dodging that. Q comes out, dodges that.
Yeah, it's... I was just about to say, before we saw those skill shots missed it, Beckmeyer's been performing very well against this Gangplank.
Yeah, Gangplank early levels is very hard. It's not until he gets his power spike with the Triforce that he can just start one-shotting waves. Usually once he hits his Triforce, he's able to clear waves with the barrels, but otherwise he just has to poke for Q and then poke Lux down with Q to hit that Grasp of the Undying.
So, items in the bot lane. You see, Ezreal is going for completing the Manamune before building the Sheen. That is the build that I prefer. But it is kind of a divided camp on Ezreal build. Some people like to build the tier and then build the Sheen before finishing the Manamune. I prefer finishing the Manamune. It helps stack it faster. You do miss out on the Sheen passive, but I don't think that's too much of a loss.
No.
And of course, on the blue side, we have Kog'Maw going for the Ginsu's Rage Blade.
Yep.
Very standard, and he actually got both components on his first back.
Yeah, I'm
which is
surprised he
pretty
didn't start Cole, to be honest, to get more of that gold. Cole's actually got buffed with 3 life on hit, but Gragas, as you see, Goosey, they're trying to set up something in the bot lane, but they're a little bit too pushed. Goosey just going to go back, but Trundle's going to
but
come
they might
down.
get the
Goosey's
counter
gonna be
gank.
there for the counter
Gucci's
gank.
there. They
Grush
go
hits
in.
the hook, lands the
Oh,
ultimate.
flash out.
Lulu hits the ultimate.
Excellent
but
Gragas ulti. First blood for Ezreal.
And here we go, Kog'Maw sitting still, landing down that damage, has to move forward, double kill for your AD carry with the Ez. Kog'Maw's just not. Ooh, Lux is going to fall down, but Lulu was able to dodge the ultimate. Tower shots taken by Ezreal. Good hook by Ho-Ho's.
Yeah,
he lands the
excellent hook
hook
by
on
Ho-Ho's.
Trundle and then throws down the ultimate to slow him down. And then excellent ult by Goosey or nothing to throw Trundle back into Ezreal to secure the kill. But it looks like they're going to rotate over and throw down the pink ward.
Hook misses that time.
Misses
But
that
like we were
time.
talking about earlier, what won that battle down in the bot lane was the vision control. Ho-Ho's was sweeping the bushes so Gucci could sneak in. The Jackson 5 had no idea that the jungler was there. They go in for what they thought was an easy gank on a pushed Ezreal. And guess what? Gucci's in the bush. Ults are thrown down. That's a double kill for Ezreal.
Yeah, double kill, early double kill for Ezreal works out. Kog'Maw just doesn't have his items yet. As soon as he has his items, he becomes Juggernaut. Lulu was able to survive. Lux ended up following down, missed the ulti though, so Gangplank had a little bit more time to farm in the bot lane. Looks like Ezreal's going to be becoming the villain now that he has 2 kills and he has the leading kill, so Garen will actually be able to do true damage on the Ezreal whenever he's able in team fights, if it stays like that.
Yeah, Ezreal will easily get deleted by that Garen if he decides to teleport, but Chicken Sailor is asserting dominance.
Garen's just going to stand there, take it in the face, say, I'm a man, slam my sword on you. That's what I love about Garen. So, Ezreal's going to be expecting to be kiting backwards as Garen's just going to be chasing after him. Screaming Demacia.
Demacia, there we have it again. Will it be in the highlight reel in week 2?
Cog getting a little bit too close.
Kog'Maw,
A nice
takes
play.
shot.
Throws out the lantern for Ezreal to chase back. But
No hook coming out.
Ho-Ho's Thresh is coming out really good. Really good plays.
Yeah, I'm impressed by this performance because we did only see him on those tanky champions last week. Thresh, definitely a very different beast.
He leveled up the Q. Sad day. Kog'Maw put a point in the Q.
Speaking of Qs, I'm interested to see what Ho-Ho's is maxing. He is maxing his death sentence, which is the right thing to do. Thresh main, speaking, maxing the Q, you really want that reduced cooldown. I used to do Flamax. Flamax, not efficient. All it does is really increase damage. Your Flay, already on a pretty short cooldown. Definitely want to go for the Q, followed by the Lantern. And Ho-Ho's looks like he did his research. He's maxing the right things.
Ooh, Hook misses barely.
These Qs from Ezreal doing damage. He has the completed Manamune.
Once he gets Iceborne, again, I think it's just the two item power spikes. Ezreal's Iceborne and Maramune, and then Cogs' Rageblade and Hurricanes. Which one's going to win? They got early kills on Ezreal, so that's always good.
Yeah, depending on how these fights go down, it could really go either way. If Kog'Maw is able to stack his Ginsus before the fight or during the fight without getting killed, he'll definitely be putting down more damage. Ezreal, not a terribly consistent damage dealer. Definitely more specializing in poke.
Looks like we got a flake on Trundle here. Trundle down the bot lane. Garen coming out of the bush. Spinning to win. Just spin. Throws down the silence. 2 silences up here in the bot lane, or top lane actually. Garen's Q silence and Cho'Gath's AoE silence. I think Cho'Gath has the advantages of silences in team fights because he has that AoE silence that actually does a lot of damage off magic. Gangplank just trying to survive in lane, keeping up in farm with Lux, and Lux is keeping up in farm with Gangplank.
And he's actually caught up very well from his earlier deficit. He was about 10 creeps behind. Now he's down 2.
Yeah, he has the Sheen proc, Sheen now, so he's doing more damage.
Lux and Gragas are able to steal Blue's.
Yeah,
Blue's
Gragas
blue
comes
buff.
back into the jungle, or says, "Thank you very much. I'll steal your blue since you stole my red earlier."
Revenge is sweet.
Revenge is sweet. Throws on the Q. Ezreal's
AD
gonna
Curry
fly.
going in. They get the kill, but he needs to get away from that
Exhausted.
Icathian surprise.
Well,
the hook
Hook
connects.
lands, goes in, but he already used the flow.
Wow.
But the Grasp of the Undying actually comes out and heals Thresh.
Bot lane of
That's another double
C-Nation
kill.
really coming up huge in this game.
Yes, that was a nice hook by Ho-Ho's that came up to catch the Lulu out, and then Ezreal just going forward and killing Kog'Maw. Gragas misses the ultimate.
They're going to commit anyway. In they go. Oranges are eaten. He escapes. Just barely.
That was a very mistimed ultimate on Gragas. Oh, with the Ezreal ultimate from far wide. Trundle got to catch him out though. Stalker's Blade hits the Q, whacks him down. Says, "That's for killing my mid laner, you son of a." Just spin goes down on Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath's going to rupture the ground. Garen's going to say, "Take that, you evil beast." I actually have a poster downstairs of Garen versus Cho'Gath from Riot Games. The official poster. It's above my
Ironic that we
computer.
see that matchup in this game.
So it's actually, I see the matchup.
That Ezreal, absolutely horrifying. At this, he's 4-1. Trundle did get the shutdown gold, but I don't expect that to make too much of a difference.
Lux is gonna flash forward for the Q. Lands the ultimate.
Well done. Ultimate wasn't even needed, but can never be too sure.
Rageblade finished by Kog'Maw. He's there. Doesn't get to stand still. Lulu's shield hits the ultimate.
Ho-Ho's
But Booster nothing's there. I was saying, what's that? That does damage?
Dragon comes up in less than a minute. We might be seeing a fight in the pit.
Yeah, we asked what Goosey or Nothing's going to be doing, and he's actually participated in 4 of the kills of the 6 that Red Team C-Nation's got, so...
And proving us wrong for doubting him.
Yeah, and he's gone Cinder Hulk, so... And I think he's going to go Iceborne Gauntlet next for a little bit more damage. That's what I believe he's going to do. I could be wrong, but I think Frozen Gauntlet's going to come out.
Could be an Iceborne, or it could even be a Frozen Heart to try and
Ezreal
counteract
eating
this
in again,
Kog'Maw.
hook goes wide. They do have... Jackson 5 bot lane has a lot of damage on the tower, though.
Those Qs from Ezreal with the Sheen passive doing so much damage. His hit percentage on those is really impressive so far.
Yeah, slap fight coming out. It's only a 4K gold lead for the red team.
Your AD Curry, he had a little bit of a rough time in week 1, but it doesn't look like it's taking him down at all.
Looks like it's gonna. He's in. A lot of. One thing I do notice for your 80 carry, he ease in a lot. He doesn't E out. Lulu catch. He's gonna go in with the fillet. Lulu's gonna ult herself. Wild growth. Q comes out. She flashes the Ez ultimate. Ez ultimate's gonna go in ease again. Grabs the lantern. Go out. Nice lantern by Ho-Ho's to protect the Ezreal from E. And Trundle's gonna come up, throw down the pillar, stopping him from hitting that.
Zoning hook thrown out by Ho-Ho's.
Trying to dodge the Qs from back downtown, gonna get some damage on the tower. I believe
They'll be able to get this tower.
The tower will go down.
It makes it a 1 tower and 1 dragon for C-Nation, and 0-0.
And just in time, Gragas is able to solo the dragon. 2 dragons now for the red team.
Really everything going in their favor at this point.
Yeah.
Well played in every single lane. Map awareness, objective control. Really strong performance by C-Nation.
Yeah.
See what happens when they have their full roster.
Definitely. And I was... that Jackson 5 actually had a really good draft with the Juggernaut comp and the Gangplank. Again, their focus is late game. They weren't able to survive the early game that much, giving away 7 kills with a 5K gold lead to the red team. Will they be able to come back and win this game? And hold out to late game? Because we saw today what C9 was able to do down in gold. They were able to come back and win. But looking overall, just the wards down by the red team. There goes one of their 2 pinks. They have pinks on both sides of the river. Not that many wards down by the blue team. Only 1 in the dragon pit from Gragas or from Trundle.
Interesting to note, Kog'Maw actually ahead in farm.
He gets caught out with the Lux ultimate, and
down he goes.
Down he goes. They need to protect Kog'Maw.
Just as I was singing his praises, there he goes.
Yeah, and Kog'Maw needs to position himself better. Lux is going to get the blue buff.
Rewarded
Beckmeyer
for her
showing
efforts.
up big. Star Guardian Lux. Sailor Moon Lux, as they call it.
Nah, man, that's Modica Lux. Modica Magica.
I always thought it was Sailor Moon.
Both magical girl animes, but a little more pink involved in Modica.
Maybe it's a mixture of the two.
It could be.
I think
definitely.
Garen's going to come down, slap his sister in the face with the sword, spin to win. Gangplank ultimate going down. She's going to walk out of it. Looks like they're going to try the dive. Trundle Pillar going out. Will they follow up? A lot of big ultimates used for not that much. 80 carry is going to steal that red buff, though. Thank you very much. Garen's going to come down. Trundle's going to come down, as is the villain, so that's going to be a lot of damage coming out. Spin to win. Ezreal has to flash over, flashes over. Smite comes down to Makia in your face. Garen, true justice. Lulu, wild glows Trundle. Trundle gets hooked by the Ho-Hos. Kog'Maw sitting still down by the Krugs. Look at the damage. Gunzo's getting procced. Goosey or Nothing's going down. Here's the Juggernaut going full. He's just going to sit on the other side of the wall. Ultimate's coming out. Spin the win. Cho'Gath is going to force the flash. Does he have flash? No. Flash is over the Dragon Pit. Lux is still there. Hits the 2 Qs. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Well,
and Rift Herald has returned to the void.
Ends up being a 2 for 3 in favor of the Jackson 5. The Juggernaut over the wall. He's totally safe over there. They can't touch him. He puts down the damage. Only picks up 1 of the kills, but
I think,
not too terrible.
Ezreal, wrong place, wrong time. Him and Thresh got caught out. Him and Ho-Hos. Here we go.
Shredding the tower. Kog'Maw damage.
Again, that's just what you literally... that was what without Hurricane can do. Now imagine when he gets Hurricane and he's able to sit there and get the Rage Blade procs off onto 3 champions at once. I think that would have been a clean ace for the Jackson 5.
So hopefully
Eats an orange, it's okay.
Hopefully C Nation realizes their mistake, pushing a bit too far into the enemy jungle, getting collapsed on. Hopefully we won't see that sort of mistake again.
Yeah, and to note, Cho'Gath is actually picking up a very large rod when he already has Rod of Ages, so I'm kind of wondering where he's going to be going. Is he going to be going
I'm expecting that to be a Rylai's. Rylai's putting down that slow, especially with the amount of CC that Cho'Gath already has, be very impactful. Not only that, but the damage he's going to be spitting with the Rylai's be pretty dirty.
Yeah, and we got to see what Garen does to villains.
Garen, so far, building full tank.
That's what Garens do.
Sometimes you'll see, maybe a Black Cleaver to buff up his armor shred he already has from his spin. But not this game. He's just going for straight tank. Garen, one of the loudest champions in this game.
Oh, he's gonna go for the kill. Ultimate. Ooh, barely
and he
survives.
Does not get it yet.
Looks like Goosey or nothing. Great ultimate. Has to flash out Gangplank. Gets hit by the Lux ultimate. Great ultimate by Goosey or nothing with the Gragas ulti. Hitting Gangplank right back in the middle of the team, and then Lux was able to finish alt with the ultimate, and they're able to siege down mid-turret, which opens up the map. Looks like Spooky Ghost comes out. Lulu gets caught out. Wild Groves herself. That's big ultimates down. Followed up.
Damage coming in from your AD Curry. Very, very big. Also to note, Cho'Gath did survive in the top lane. Garen was not able to finalize that kill. And C Nation picks up 2 kills and a turret in the mid lane. The map is opening up.
Map is opening up. Wards are now getting more coming out. More blue team defensive warding in their own jungle. Red team pushing up with their wards, as you can see. The pink ward down by Baron. Dragon's going to be up in less than a minute, so we know that's going to be their main focus. Will that be where the team fight comes out? Hurricane's almost completed on Kog'Maw. Garen spinning the wind. Lux is the villain this time. So let's see if maybe Garen can go after Lux and get that shutdown gold. But it's just going to be a slap fight up here. Now to think, Garen has Grass Speed and Dying, so he's actually going to be getting health back a lot more than Cho'Gath when Cho'Gath has that Bond of Stone. So you were right, it is going to be the Rylai's for the Cho'Gath. He's going to pick that up, so that's going to be slowing down Garen.
Look at the slows he's putting down.
Every auto attack he does.
Wow.
So it looks like Gragas comes back from behind.
Gucci coming in. Smalls gets pushed into the turret.
Has forced to heal. Standing there. Doesn't stand still long enough to get the damage out.
He's going to go down.
Your AD carry very low.
Yeah, Cathian Surprise takes him out.
Shutdown, actually.
But still, one for 2.
Is passive, able to kill Ezreal. And the slap fight's still going on top lane. They weren't able to push down that turret, though, in the mid lane for Jackson 5 and blue team.
They're going to pick up the dragon.
Third dragon. Gonna grant him that movement speed. Goosey or nothing, showing up big. He did actually go a Frozen Heart. But, yeah, it's going to be a normal, just tank Gragas build.
Just been ignoring the CS to try to get some damage down on Chicken Sailor.
Yeah, he's getting damage down alright until movement speed. Cho'Gath's going to be able to run a little bit farther. Garen's going to chase him down, say, I don't care about minions, I don't care about CS. I'm going to show you I'm a man.
This does explain some of the deficit he's showing, though.
No fear. Just spin. Just spin. That's his motto. That's what he's saying, guy. Don't worry. I'm just going to spin.
If he does happen to be a Garen main, that'd be a perfectly appropriate name.
Alright, so the map's opened up. 3 dragons for red team.
And about a 6,000 gold lead.
This goes any farther, we're looking at 5th dragons.
5th dragon, not something you see every day anymore, that's for sure. Game's typically shorter, team's putting a lot less significance on that dragon. I know you're a big fan of the dragon, though. So.
I'm a big fan of the dragon. I do love my dragon stacks. As a jungle main, I do love...
especially Udyr main, probably... well, have you been going Runic Echoes, or you still prefer the Devourer?
I prefer the Devourer, because he's actually able to...
that explains your dragon love.
Yeah, 1v1 people earlier, or 1v1 people later on in the game. It's a lot stronger 1v1, and but Udyr's been banned every single game, so I'm kind of up a creek without a paddle. Tilting off the face of the earth and losing.
Chicken Sailor pretty low, lays down a defensive rupture, gets out scot-free.
Yeah, slam attack fight. Looks like red team's going to be invading on the blue side jungle. Let's see, key ultimates are up here. Gangplank, Wild Growth. Let's see what happens. Spooky Ghost comes out from Lulu. They're going to catch Ezreal and Lux out. Q's going to miss. Shield's going to come out for Kog'Maw. Cho'Gath's still low in the top lane. Garen's going to try to throw down his manly justice on Kog'Maw. Spin to win, taking the turret. Walks out.
He is pretty tanky.
Ezreal is now the villain now instead of Lux. It's switched over. Ezreal's 8-3. Actually grabs up a board
going in
as
on
well.
this top lane.
Yep. Goose is going to go in. Kogma's going to go down to 80
Kogma
carry.
goes down.
Kogma's out of position. Rupture's going to come out, knock him up 10 different times. Cho'Gath. Garen's going to try to run away, but Lyle's going to just spin. Nope, flashes out.
Gets the flash.
Alt comes out, spins him against the turret.
Not going to amount to much.
Nope.
We can go back and see that kill on Kogma. Let's see, what am I looking at here?
Yeah,
Here
there
we
you
go.
go. I think it was just Small is out of position again. And Ezreal just comes in. Yep, boom. Hits
With the
Q.
slow on the Iceborne Gauntlet.
Iceborne hits the Bork proc.
He hits them all, too. Your AD Curry coming through very strong with those
9 and
Qs.
3. Forces a flash. Boop.
Guess if you're gonna name yourself after a position, you best be good at that position.
Yes.
Even to the tanky members of this team, he's throwing down a lot of damage.
Pillars him off, but he simply ease away. Charnel says, nope, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. Lulu, get me out of here. Ezreal Lux comes out.
Wowie.
Everybody. Ezreal comes out.
Gangplank does survive by eating those oranges, but wow. The long-range damage that the red team is spitting out, very difficult to deal with. And they're starting to get choked out of their objectives. Even their own jungle getting stolen away, inner turrets getting pressured.
Yeah. It's about 10k gold lead. Gangplank ult coming down. Ho-Ho's hook going close. But Lux's Q is going to stop Garen in his tracks. Forces a flash from Ezreal. Ho-Ho's very low.
The heal saved his life. Your AD Curry watching the back of his support.
Actually, AD carry, your AD carry and Ho-Ho's very good support. Ezreal's going to go in. Garen's going to tank the Lux or laser beam.
Chicken Sailor picking up that kill. It's
Okay,
funny,
two
though.
very important items completed on Kog'Maw with the Hurricane and Gunzo's Rage Blade. So he has his 2 Juggermaw items. Eats his orange. Gangplank gets knocked into the team. Q goes down. That
Putting down
Goosey
the
or
damage.
nothing showing up. Saying, you're going to ban away my Lee Sin. I'll show you my Gragas.
Yeah.
Those ults are knocking Gangplank through a loop right into the enemy team.
We might be seeing different target bans coming out against Gucci next week.
Yeah. Maybe you can, and Ho-Ho's saying, you know, look at him 1 and 10, saying you can ban my Leona, but I'm just gonna show up on Thresh.
I think that bodes very well for this team, even though they got so heavily target banned. They take these new champions, and they're really cleaning this game up. We have another pause coming out.
Yeah, another pause. Looks like Gangplank.
Looks like he's gonna have to restart his computer. Could have that death of his could have been because of computer problems. I suppose we will never know. But anyway, let's take stock of the situation here.
Yeah, right now it's 17-5 red team with a 11k gold lead. You know, again, we're seeing just one-sided games. The game earlier that we Tell No Tales, one-sided game, and now another. Blue team Jackson 5 had a really great comp with the Juggernaut comp. They had the Gangplank. They have the tools. It's just your AD carries showing up in force, and Goosey or nothing showing up in force with the Gragas.
Yeah, and
especially the Lux Qs have been going really good as well.
Yeah, we have been seeing really excellent play coming out of every single member of C Nation. And like we said, it is not a question of the Diamond players carrying these teams. When these teams have these runaway games, it's because every player really performs above expectations. Just like we saw with Gro got carried last week. Even though a lot of their players are silver or below, they managed to stomp their lanes. Their jungler managed to make a lot of great ganks, get super far ahead on Lee Sin, 6-0 at one point.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's great to see these teams really practicing, working together, and I think that's really starting to pay off. Obviously, C Nation doing well. And in the last game, Tell No Tales doing the same thing.
Yeah, and to note, these are 2 teams at the bottom of the standings, 0-2. So this will be a really big morale booster for C Nation if they get the win. And that'll bring them up to 1 and 2, and they'll actually have a win under their belt. And maybe they'll find their way of playing. Maybe this is just their way of playing with the champions and the way they play. They might have found a winning strategy. So, still waiting on the pause. 5 minutes in. Gangplank, you know, he's like still late game. He has his Triforce. And he looks like he's going for an IE next.
Yep, Triforce into Infinity Edge, pretty standard for Gangplank. If the game ends up going long enough and he gets any stronger, he could go for the classic balls double Infinity Edge that we saw today.
Yeah, and Garen 101. He hasn't dropped to death yet. Let's see if maybe Garen can pull something out by trying. They have to kill Lux and Ez. That's what Jackson 5 needs to do to win this game. They need to take out Ez, and they need to take out Lux.
That 1-0-1 in the top lane really kind of tells the story of the top lane this entire game. They've just been kind of sitting there whacking at each other a little bit. Classic old school top lane before we had what we see now, 5-man tower dives and whatnot. We're just seeing them, the wet noodle fight, as they used to call it, smacking at each other. Of course, Chicken Sailor has been a little bit more mobile. He's picked up some kills. He's picked up some assists. He's been really kind of a rock for this team, just being the consistent player. He's not doing anything super flashy. He's leaving that for everyone else. And just really being the cornerstone, enabling the rest of his team to carry.
Yeah, if I was the blue team, I would let them... I would have to protect more of the dragons. They have the Garen passive with the villain passive to get more damage onto the highest fed person, which I think it's on Ezreal.
It should be Ezreal at this point.
It should be at Ezreal at this point. They need Garen to get on Ezreal. That's going to be hard because Ezreal has a flash. Ezreal has an E, which is basically a flash. So he has two flashes.
A lantern.
He has a lantern if Ho-Ho's is even farther behind him, and he has that slow with the Iceborne. Now, how you counteract that is you run at him, and then Ezreal will poke you with the Q, hit Iceborne. Then, as Garen, you hit your Q, because that just removes all slows, and you'll be able to go at him faster and hit that movement speed. Garen needs to take out Ez. GP needs to hit a really good ulti and barrels, and he has to have those barrels set up. Trundle needs to protect Kog'Maw. Lulu needs to protect Kog'Maw. And
They need to just stall this game out as long as they can.
They got to stall the game. They got to farm.
Several times, I believe in European LCS this week, Fnatic, they were down very, very far to G2, like probably close to 10,000 gold.
Yeah.
But because they held the game out long enough, Reckless Kog'Maw was given time to scale up, and eventually he could just tear through the entire team. Yeah. So that's what this team has going for it. They have Gangplank, they have Kog'Maw. If they can just survive and try to clear those minion waves, try to mitigate the losses, probably let a couple of dragons go. I don't think they're going to have a lot of options, but hopefully they'll get those champions, strong enough, get enough items, enough gold that they can bring this game back.
Yeah, and we saw what Kog'Maw could do earlier without even his two best items completed when he was sitting at Krugs and able to fire over the wall and no one was touching him. He eliminated the entire team when your AD carry stepped out of bounds. And that shows that even though this team is playing really well, they're still making those mistakes and they're still getting punished for them. And the Jackson 5 can still come back from this. I think they just need to ward up their jungle. They need to protect neutral objectives. They need to farm it out. And they need to get a really, really good team fight down and protect Kog'Maw and let Kog'Maw do it.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing about this blue team is the same problem we kind of saw in the last game, where they don't have a lot of tools to engage other than running straight at the enemy. They can speed someone up with Lulu. They can speed up Garen or Trundle to run in, preferably Garen. He needs to get to that back line. But aside from that, there's not a lot going for them. They have the Gangplank ultimate, but like you said, Ezreal, very easy for him to get out of it. Lux, a little bit of a different story, but there's not a lot of options to get into the fight with this Juggernaut composition. So they really need to just try to turn things around. Like you said, peel for the Kog'Maw. Trundle Pillar, Lulu Ultimate, very good for that.
And yeah, another thing, just to let you guys know, we're still waiting on them to get back into game. If you look at the wards, red team very highly contesting that dragon. Baron is dark for both sides. Red team has the wards lit up around the dragon map. Pink wards, regular site wards. Blue team, their wards are limited because of red teams invading their jungle and clearing it out. But it shows that they're very highly contesting that new dragon. That dragon is worth fighting over. It used to not be worth fighting over. You can the only dragons that mattered were 1 and 5. And if you now with that second dragon buff that will actually burn magic damage on the towers, and that fourth dragon buff that will let you take 20% less damage from towers, it's pretty worth getting because now you can start tower diving and taking tower dives faster. So again, dragons now highly contested. We haven't seen Rift Herald being taken in any of our games.
No one has touched the Rift Herald so far today.
Usually it's when one team takes Dragon, the other team takes Rift Herald, or vice versa. And Rift Herald you can actually use to push down lanes earlier, or it's actually worth global gold, so you get more gold from it. So we haven't actually seen that from today. So I wonder what happens when the pause timing runs out on live. Does the game end in like GG?
Well, hopefully we don't have to find out.
Do I have to talk for 19 more minutes?
Yeah,
I could
looks
probably
like it.
so.
Yep.
All right.
So
we
might be back soon
from the studio. Atheraz is the sub for the Jackson 5, and Atheraz is playing Lulu. I think as a sub he's doing pretty decent. Again, they don't have their support synergy with the AD carry, if they even do have the synergy that therefore they practice. But Atheraz as a substitute is doing pretty well, just being fit in with this team.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, and he picked a very good champion for someone who hasn't played with this team before. Lulu, relatively straightforward when it comes to the play style. You just really, if Kog'Maw's getting hit, you ult him, you shield him, you speed people up. Good choice by him. Sometimes you'll see people come into sub and they'll choose some kind of champion that requires a lot of coordination. That's not something you want to see. You want to pick something simple, you want to do your job, you want to do it well, and you want to try not to disappoint the people who are putting their faith in you.
Yep, and looks like
we are getting back into game.
Woo!
Alright, so where were we? Cho'Gath pushing in the top lane.
Yeah, Cho'Gath pushed in the top lane.
Everyone else back.
Blue team taking stock of what they need to do. Hopefully they're listening to the stream, taking my pointers, warding up, trying to catch picks, and letting Kog'Maw do what he needs to do.
No, Lulu already caught picks.
Yeah. There you go. Ha. 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 Ha.
Alright, so Small is checking bushes with his ultimate. Smart move.
Again, Baron's dark. Until now, just throws a ward down. It is Ezreal, you're right. Looks like they're trying to do the Fnatic push. Kog'Maw's gonna go out. I wouldn't have Kog'Maw run out at him. But Kog'Maw needs to stand back. Gragas hits 2 of them. Shield. Barrel's getting thrown down. Luxalt comes in. The big team fight just to spin Lulu. Wild Gross, the middle of the team fight. Garen's trying to find Ezreal. Gets ulted. Oh my god. Cho'Gath goes in. Gets ult. Kog'Maw's running backwards. Goose or nothing. Chases down the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw goes down. Juggernaut goes down. Garen's still whacking people. Just spins. Still spinning. Trumpa goes down. Double kill. 4. Goose or nothing. And looks like it's just cleanup time.
I've never seen a more appropriate summoner name. Just Spin. He's doing just that. Just spinning. Around. And that's an ace for C Nation.
Ace C Nation coming out.
Push down the mid lane. Gucci or nothing can probably tank this for a little while until the creep wave arrives, as long as his team backs him up.
There you go. Looks like they're going to get their first inhib tower on the mid lane. I do not know why Lulu did the wild growth on Garen. I would have done it on Kog'Maw. It needs to protect the Kog'Maw comp to keep him more alive. But
I would have to see the fight a second time to be sure, but it's possible that there was a bit of a fat character model in the way. Just a tip for anyone who does have problems with that, you can hover over the champion portrait at the bottom right of your screen instead. Nothing else will get in the way. You won't target the wrong person with your spells. It could make a huge difference.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to rotate bottom lane. They have a big wave pushing the Gangplank's ultimate that wave. Try to stop it. So that tells me Gangplank didn't even use his ultimate in the last fight. Ho-Ho's going to
might go down here.
The ultimate does more damage when you're low. Lex ultimate
oh, he does go down.
Oh my gosh.
But AD Curry goes in.
Goes in. That's a very...
and this Trundle is not a threat to your AD Curry right now. Garen maybe a little bit, but Ezreal
they got Cho'Gath and Gragas to back him up. Your AD carry with his ease. He's going in more than he's going out.
And also, with this Blade of the Rune King, even Garen is not going to be taking a whole lot of your AD Curry's damage. He is going to go through he's built a lot of health for the most part with that Spirit Visage and the Sunfire. Yes, there's armor on the Sunfire that'll help him a little bit, but not as much as, say, like a Frozen Heart or a Randuin's or a Thornmail. Still taking a lot of damage, and really capitalizing.
4th dragon going over back to the red team. 4 dragons to 0. Again, mid lane now opened up. Superman is going to be pushing down. We're seeing I don't want to say a stomp, but you know, another game that we saw earlier. It's just the same thing, different team. Jackson 5 tried to come out with a Juggernaut comp. LCS pros highly valued that Juggernaut and Cogmaw, but they can't make it work.
And yeah, the unfortunate thing is they picked this powerful composition, but they're not doing the one thing that the composition requires, which is protecting the Cogmaw.
Yeah, they're not playing to the win condition, while blue team or red team certainly is. And Lucy or Nothing has been doing a lot of work with that. His Gragas ultimates are on point, knocking Cogmaw out of position, so he does not get to stand still.
The red team looking like they're gonna put some emphasis toward the Baron. They have pink wards everywhere.
Yeah, they
There's
have it
two
warded
pink
up,
wards on the
so
sides of the Baron.
it's dark for blue side. Blue trigger goes
And
down.
it would be scary for blue to face check this.
Oh yes.
Jackson 5, they know that CNA is there. Small's thrown out a slow field. Ezreal doesn't flex over the wall, no big problem. They got the spookies on just spin. He might go down here if they layer this CC.
Bork gets procced, Flay.
And tank down.
Yes. Easy.
Gucci Nothing looks like he wants some more.
Yeah,
Gets Glitter Lance.
One thing
Not
blue
too much to do
team's
there.
comp was missing was CC. They don't have a lot of hard-rooted CC. The only thing they have is a displacement from jungle. Or you can turn a champion into a rabbit from blue. Not really that much of a hard CC.
So
So
Plank Gold comes in. Gucci Nothing has to be careful with his smite.
should get it.
Cho'Gath gets it actually.
Yeah.
It does more damage than the smite, of course.
You can actually smite it. They can time it at the same time to smite and ult, since it is instantaneous. And
Steal the blue buff. Choking everything, really.
yeah,
Baron
Easy
powered
Baron
recall's
goes
coming
over.
in. Or not.
So
They
we're
might
gonna
just
see
push
the-
this top lane. They're not low. They do not have to bat.
Nope.
Garen will be up in 5 seconds. I don't think it'll make much difference, though.
Cogma's down in the bot lane to push out that bot wave, but I don't think he needs to be bot lane. He needs to be top lane with his team to stop this push.
You know, I never noticed before, but... oh, never mind. Here we go. Gucci
Ooh.
going in.
Gucci going in, gets turned
What's
into a
up the
rabbit.
fight? Down goes Lulu.
Cogma's nowhere to be found. Cogma's down in the bot lane, so it is a 4v5. Garen's trying to run towards Ezreal. Ezreal's just going to back up.
So taking a lot of damage. He might go down
Lux
here.
is following Q's.
Put the Lux Q's.
Ultimate.
Too strong.
Oh my gosh. Gangplank
Gangplank
actually gets a
does go
shutdown
down.
on Ezreal.
But that's 3 for 1, and Cogmaw was not even in that fight. We'll see if they'll be able to defend this turret, but
Spooky
they
goes
still
come
have
out,
so
Cogmaw
much
is
engage
down
and
with
so
the
much
fight.
damage available.
Yeah, so much engaged, so much. Yep, there he goes.
He's going
Flash
for it,
Q.
too. Cogmaw's going down. Skill shots from Lux. Really doing work.
You know, I like the Jackson 5's comp at first, but then the lack of CC disturbs me. So, it's a Juggernaut comp to protect Cogmaw, and they grab the Gangplank away, I guess just so they have a Gangplank, and the Gangplank's overpowered. They're thinking, oh, we have a team most OP champion, we should be fine. Looks like
Damage is real.
Bruce is going to take it down.
And that's going to be the Nexus.
That's going to be a game.
GG, C Nation.
C Nation.
Acknowledging, like we saw in the first game, what they need to do and doing it. With really no fault. Ho-Ho is going for
Ho-Ho's going in the
disrespect. Misses the hook.
So
And
C
that's
Nation
the
picks
game.
up a game. Jackson 5 now is 0-3, and C Nation 1-2.